So, this coming Wednesday, the studio behind Splitgate is launching a game that looks and plays like the Titanfall sequel EA never made. It's called EMPULSE. But before we get hyped, the real question is, can this game survive the current market? Now, the company behind EMPULSE is 1047 Games. If you don't know who 1047 Games is, they made Splitgate 1 and obviously Splitgate 2. And I actually like the company. You know, like playing Splitgate 1 before it got popular or whatever, before like its official release. Just seeing, even playing it after, seeing like how involved they are with the community is just, I've not seen that in any other game, to be completely honest with you. And I think they're unique for that. And they tend to have unique mechanics, right? Like you see like the thing in Splitgate and also in EMPULSE, there's a unique mechanic that I'm going to talk about. I don't know. They just have smart people there, you know, when it comes to like designing like unique mechanics or just coming up with unique mechanics. But now there's one thing about Splitgate that makes it so casuals don't get interested in it, and it's the same problem with EMPULSE, which is what I'm going to talk about. Splitgate 2's concurrent Steam player count fell all the way from 25,000 to 2,000 in about 6 weeks, which is a 90% drop. Not good at all. And you know, they admitted they dropped it too early. You know, they laid off 45 people. It was crazy. And then it relaunched in December 2025 as Splitgate Arena Reloaded. And till now, it's still struggling to have like anything above 1,000 concurrent players, which is crazy. Now, we're going to talk about EMPULSE, right? Enough of the Splitgate stuff. EMPULSE is a 6v6 movement shooter. The entire game is built around chaining movement together, wall running, grapple hook, jetpack. But the standout mechanic that I was going to talk about is the paint, which is like bombs, right? They're bombs that physically reshape the map mid-match. So the different types of paint can either speed you up, heal you, create new jump routes, lay sticky traps, or just blow up, you know? And that's like the big difference between this and Titanfall. I mean, aside from like how it feels too, yeah, that's like something unique. And I'm not surprised. It's 1047 Games. They're very like smart at, you know, coming up with unique mechanics. Now, EMPULSE launches into early access this Wednesday, like I said earlier, June 24th on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC via Steam for $20, right? $20 at launch. And there's no cash shop at all. Now, remember that $20, right? Remember that $20. There's also mechs in the game. I forgot to say there's mechs. Only 2 spawn per match. They're generated mid-game and there's no loadout. So you fight your way into one, and it's less like Titanfall Titan and more like a fight over like a power weapon in Halo. The track record I told you about Splitgate, it carries risks, right? You know, this is a studio that in less than a year, they rushed a launch, mishandled monetization, you know, had to publicly walk back major decisions, you know, and they're doing this game while still trying to keep Splitgate alive. But that's not what is important about EMPULSE. The main thing, the crux of this video is this. After playing the game, like the game is described as a movement shooter, right? This game is a aimer movement shooter. That's the best description. This game is a game for people that Kovacs a lot, you know, like Potaik, Kovacs players, you know. That's what this game is for. It's a clip game. You know, you play it to get clips. Like, you know, the clips look good. I don't see it blowing up, you know, or even if it blows up. I love 1047 Games, you know, love those guys over there. I'm just not going to lie. This isn't 2018 anymore. You know, it isn't 2017, it isn't 2018 anymore. I don't see enough people, right, willing to, you know, put themselves in a world like this where it's literally made for sweats. Like you're looking at the clips on the screen, it's made for like people that, you know, not just even sweats, but aimer sweats, like people that like, you know, practice their aim a lot and also enjoy movement, right? So it's like, I don't see a dad coming back from work and being like, oh, let me launch EMPULSE and run on the wall and grapple hook and jetpack, you know. I just don't see a dad doing that. You feel me? Like, I don't see the casual person doing that. And the game does look good, but in this market, you know how hard it is to float, to stay afloat. It's not easy at all. Now they're gonna try to ride the Titanfall wave, but like I said, it's not 2019, it's not 2018 anymore. It's not 2016, 17, or 18 anymore. There's just not enough people that are, interested enough to stick with this game long term. So the challenge for them now would be what kind of content, right? Because they can't, the entire game mechanics already pushes out non-sweats. Let me just be completely honest with you, right? If you've played the game already, you know what I'm talking about. It just already pushes away people that, are just not willing to, try super hard, or they're just not in the mood, they're just not the type to try to look for clips and stuff like that. I just don't see that demographic of people wanting to come back. And that's the biggest demographic of people when it comes to gaming. So, and that's one thing. And even the Titanfall people, I don't see them liking it enough for them to keep playing consistently. Like, it's going to have its own player base. Don't get me wrong. It's going to have its own loyal player base, right? I think that's going to happen. But I don't think that loyal player base is going to be big enough to not consider the game dead. That's just God honest truth from my perspective. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But the way I'm looking at it, it's a dead on arrival. Not even gonna lie, it's a dead on arrival. The hole that they're trying to fill with the Titanfall gap, I just don't think, even if they're able to fill it, it's just 2026. It's just not enough people to keep her afloat. This is gonna cost you $19.99, $20 USD, right? So I don't even see, am I gonna pay the $20? Probably I could, just because I like the company, and it'd be interesting, and I guess it's my type of game, I guess. I love, getting clips, just, it's just my type of game, but I just don't see how it appeals to other people. It could appeal to them visually, but I promise you, once they get in the game, a couple games, they're going to be done. Literally, I even have a clip of someone literally saying they're not going to play this game again. Random person in the lobby, literally just queued up with random people, and they had their mics on, and their sentiment is what I think is going to be the sentiment of a lot of people. So for me, $20, dead on arrival. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but I don't see this going anywhere. Literally don't. But that's just the truth. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. That's not what I'm here for. And yeah, that's my take on it. I'm waiting to see when it drops, and I hope I'm proven wrong. Obviously, I'll be happy as hell if I'm proven wrong, because then the game doesn't die and I get to play it more.